to promote other copyrighted poets. Look for that later on, maybe a couple months down the line as I get my whole YouTube education, because I have enrolled myself in YouTube University by watching YouTube videos and staying on the platform of other YouTubers. And also, too, another thing I will be doing is giving a shout out to YouTubers, because if it wasn't for those YouTubers, I wouldn't be here today. Whether we stay a big channel, if we grow to be in a big channel, or if we stay a little modest channel, I still want to make sure that I give a shout out to those people who have inspired me and who I actually consume myself. Also, do you like the hair? Do you like? Oh, because I'm living this. I'm living for this style. This is the first time in all the time that I've been getting my hair braided that I actually got the style I wanted. I told the lady what I wanted and I got what I wanted. No one had to talk down about, okay, we can't do it. Your head is shaped funny. She just did it. She did it for me. I want to say Miss Chalet is in the house today, and I'm very, very proud of you too. Thank you so much. And thank you for the makeup, honey. Thank you, honey. Honey. So before we get this started, I have a couple segments that I want to do, in every live that I do. The first one I want to do is I want to give a small business shout out. Both small businesses that I will be highlighting today are in the village of Harlem. Both are in 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 Harlem. So let's get started. Again, this hair, the best braider I have ever been to in all my years of getting my hair braided. I want to give her a shout out. Her name is Amy Hair Braiding. The address of this hair braider is 2488 Adam Clayton Powell Avenue. For the people that are from the hood, that's 7th Avenue. She is between 144th and 145th Street. Her telephone number is 646-363-5474. Don't worry if you didn't catch that. It's in the description. Also, I want to give a big shout out to BTL Wines. Yes, this is an amazing, amazing wine store. Anything you want, you can get it there. I went and got this bottle today because I wanted to really set this party off right and have me a bottle of wine. And with a wonderful bottle of wine, this is a Riesling that they let me have, which is absolutely delicious. Delicious. And I want to give them a shout out as well. They are as I said, BTO Wines. They are 311 West 127th Street in Harlem, New York, just off the corner of 127th and St. Nicholas. They are open, I believe, 6 days a week. If I stand corrected, that I apologize, but I did leave the link in the description. So, with that being said, I want this to be a place where I can celebrate small businesses and give them shout outs to get your feet in their door. If you are in the village of Harlem, please, if you want your hair braided, go to Amy Hair Braiding at 2488 Adam Clayton Powell. That's 7th Avenue for all my hood people, and at BTL at 311 West 127th Street. Go in, say the Queen sent you. I've seen it on the YouTubes. Let them know that I sent you, just so that they can get the foot track. Not today, Satan. Not today, Satan. I said not today. You're not gonna mess me up because I'm that good. I know how to come back. Don't try it. Get the foot traffic they so richly deserve. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Not today, Satan. Not today. So now, as I said before, I also want to give a shout out to some YouTubers that have inspired me to take this journey. The first one is actually going to be two. please bear with me before we get into the book. I want to make this a part of my journey because one, I'm not monetized and I'm at a modest, I believe 60 subscribers, and I want to grow my channel. So I want to do this as a way of getting you to their pages as well as getting them to get their subscribers to come here. So please, when you find out who these YouTubers are, please go down to the description, click the link, like, subscribe, comment. Queen Liz of the Queen Liz channel for poetry sent me here. So send some of your people her way. Okay? It's only right. 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 All right. So the first YouTuber is someone who is an amazing young lady. She's a talented dancer. She used to dance. I forgot which NBA team, but she actually danced for an NBA team, and I want to give her a shout out. I want everybody send her traffic. Go in. Use her sponsored materials. She is an amazing young lady, very talented. Her name is Nia Imani. And her link is in the description. She gives you everything from fashion, makeup tips, how to become an NBA dancer. She is an amazing girl, very talented. Send some people her way. Please go like, subscribe, comment. Queen Liz sent me. Keep going, encourage her. She's a young Black lady, and we got to give her all the love we can. Now, the second person I wanna shout out is actually someone who really probably don't even need my foot traffic, but I want to do that anyway because I want to grow my channel, but also because he's an extremely funny comedian, and I learned about this man through a TV show that I used to watch back in the 2000s called Titus. It used to come on Fox. It was an amazingly funny show. It starred him, Christopher Titus, and Zach Ward. You remember Zach Ward as from A Christmas Story. You know the guy that gets beat up at the end, the bully that gets beat. Well, that's the guy. He played Farkas in A Christmas Story, and the incomparable Stacey Keach. This was an amazing TV show. So if you can find that on any of the Tubi, wherever you can find it, it's an amazing TV show. But I also want to tell you about his YouTube channel. It is called Christopher Titus TV. That's where you get the Christopher Titus Armageddon. And when I say it's funny, guys, I am not lying. I watch it all the time. This is funny. He's definitely has a side, but he does do his delivery of the news more partisan, and he's a lot of fun. Please, I'm sure you're gonna love him, especially his take on Trump. It is amazingly funny. And he gets at Democrats too. So we like him. We like him. So direct your pizza to Chris Titus TV and leave a like, leave a subscribe, and let them know that the Queen sent you. The Queen sent you. So thank you for that. And I'm hoping to do that every live, and it'll go a little smoother once I learn the YouTubes. Once I learn the YouTubes, we're going to get into this a little more. So now I want to go into my journey as an author. Again, as I was getting ready to tell my family, this was a journey that I don't take lightly. This is a journey that means a lot to me. And I want you to know that when it started, it was a place of disappointment, sadness, depression. So I'm not a Scientologist, but I know I don't need medicine. I need purpose. And the book was my purpose. When I started the book, it was a way for me to get out of the bed in the morning, to have something to do with my life, and to make my life count and mean something. So instead of twerking it for the gram, I decided to compile some poetry that I've written previous and some poetry that I actually wrote now. So I just want to show you both of the books. You already saw this one, and when it's live, you will have the Barnes and Noble version. You see, it's two different covers: Barnes and Noble, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Amazon. So these books represent poems that I had done over 40 years ago, and poems I done just recently, like maybe even a couple days before deciding to do a book. So on this journey, I was watching YouTube late at night, as one does, um, and I saw a video about how to publish your own work. And this poem, this excuse me, this YouTube channel inspired me to type my poems in Google Docs, as one does, and compile it and get it together. I had already had a copyright. I had my copyright maybe 10 years. I had already copyrighted. And it's not copywritten, it's copyrighted. It's not copy WRITE. It's copy RIGHT, meaning apply law or apply law to. So it is righted. I said it correctly. Right, Ms. G? So, um, I had already had a copyright. So I went and took those poems that were already copyrighted, added some more poems to it. And yes, I had to update my copyright. I will go into that when I do the video. I had to update my copyright to include all of the poems that I had entered into the original and any pictures that I added. It's I did took a photo. I wanted there to be pictures, so I did my best art as one does. It's not Picasso. Please don't think I'm some amazing artist. I'm not. I'm not. I just wanted to do this on my own. I didn't want to spend any money, and I really wanted this to represent me. I wanted this to be a birth as sorts to the publishing world. Now, this book has about 45 poems in it. It actually has exactly 45 poems in it. And when you read them, you're going to get different ideas of what I was thinking when I wrote it. Because I'm not a subliminal poet. When I write a poem, you know what it's about. You know exactly what it's about. You know why I wrote it. So please, as I get into this book, I first want to read my and that's another thing. I don't commit poems to memory. I really should learn how to do I really should start doing that, but I don't. I don't. I don't. It's not what I do. It's not I'm not a performance poet. I'm a written poet. So you will see me grab this book. So before I do that, I would like to read my dedication. Um, if you're left out, charge it to my head and not my heart. And hopefully, this will be one of many books. So, as I go on, I hope my mom's watching this. I really want her to hear how I dedicated this book to her. This book is dedicated to my mother, Eartha Smith Tower, with all my heart and soul. Hattie Jane Ash, my beloved grandmother, Loretta, Monzali, Antoinette, and Stephanie, my cherished siblings, the entire Cooper family, my cousins, and more importantly, my heart, my Atlanta and my Detroit family, Ruby Kitchen Bradley, who nurtured my love of poetry to help me redeem my character, Jim Murphy, the best social studies teacher ever. My second mom, Millicent Grant. I love you, my man. My man. And also, I want to just let you know that I don't want to cry. This Millicent is really, really someone who wants me to do well, and she will just make me do right. She's one of the people that makes me do right. So I love you, Millicent. Mommy, I love you, mommy. Mommy, me want more oxtail and beans. Mommy, make me some more oxtail and beans. So I also have a dedication to Mrs. Walcott, Anna Hunter, and Mr. and Mrs. Walden for being in my life and giving me the three best friends I love in my whole life. Thank you so much to them. And again, a big shout out to Miss Barbara Jackson, who was my first subscriber and will be getting a free copy, the Amazon copy of this book. I will get that to you. I will sign it for you. Um, it's one thing to have great friends who love you no matter what, but when their parents love you, it's an extremely overwhelming feeling and very heartening. And I love them back immensely. And I'm trying not to cry, but as you will find out in this YouTube, I'm emotional. I get emotional. Yep. But I'm not going to sing the song because that song is copyrighted. No, ma'am. No, devil, you will not get me. I said you will not get me. No strikes for Elizabeth. No strikes for Elizabeth. I told you, devil, I'm not talking to you no more. I done told you, devil. Who do you think he is? So as you see, I do not commit them to memory, but I do read them and I read them very well. So as I get into this book is in 5 subjects or chapters, if you will. I like to say subjects, but they're chapters. Each chapter is about a particular type of poem that I've written. I didn't want to overwhelm myself with poetry, so I picked 45 that I actually picked 40, but then I had 5 that I actually had to get in here. They had to get in here. I had to stick them in there somewhere. So the 5th one is called epilogue. So just as a final word. But as I get into this is from the love section, and I will be reading 2 poems. The first poem: if you went to college with me between the years of 1992 and 1994, you know who this poem was written for. Up close, you know who this poem was written for. I'm not going to say his name. I hope this goes out to him, but I just want to say he's an amazingly attractive man. So attractive. So, but not only that, he's a good person. He knew he found out that I had a really big crush on him, and he didn't reciprocate my feelings. However, he protected my heart and didn't do anything disparaging to me. He was an amazing man. So yes, I am honored to have written this poem about him. Now the title, I titled this the way I titled it because when I saw him before I got to meet him, and this poem was written just based off his looks. Yeah. Yeah, Michelle boy. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. MD. Yep. That's exactly who it's for. I ain't gonna say nothing. Read the check. Okay, here we go. The title of this poem is called He. Let me take some libations. Again, I want to give a shout out to Miss Giella, Miss Perry Giella, wherever you are, Miss Giella. She bought me this cup a long time ago, and I still have it. This cup is everything. Isn't this cup everything? We love this cup, and we love BTL 311 West 127th Street, corner of 127th and St. Nicholas Avenue. Go give them a look see. Their wines are to die for. Okay, so the title of this poem is called He. I'll keep the book out my face. He came to make room in my mind just for him, to move around stuff looking for a place where he fits in. Now he expects me to think straight. Now he wants me to go on as if nothing has been said and done. But I think he knows what he does because he smiles whenever he does it. And through his eyes, I see him plotting ways to make me lose control. He's trying to make his way to my heart, using words that make me want to give in? Does he know that he's the only one fighting because he's already won? Or does he know there's no need to compete with my defenses? They're all down. He swears he knows just the way because he claims he saw the very depths of my soul and spied my heart and saw me waiting, ready for him. He's never been that much to me before, never been the one to make me write a poem. Yet he's the reason why I sit here, pouring out my heart, recollecting all the ways he moves me. Does he know his smile brightens my day? Does he hear the beat of my heart? Or when he's near, I want to say all the things he makes me feel. Though I've never seen his face, I know he's beautiful. And the only question I would pose if he were here, can we fall in love forever? Oh, yeah. If you were there in 1992 to 1994, you know, you know, tú sabes, tú sabes, tú sabes. Okay, this next poem about love is about expectations for love. Expectations for love. Um, Love is something that you don't choose who you love. You really don't, but you do. So when you are endeavoring and when you make that endeavor into the realm of love, be clear about what you want. I know there's a lot of these spaces is telling you, oh, just take what you get. No, because when you take what you get, it may not be what you want. Be clear about what you want. Be clear about your expectations for love, because love is wonderful. Love is beautiful, but love can hurt. And I don't want anyone out there hurting. So I wrote this poem when people told me I had to take what I could get. No, there's a good man out there for me. He might be watching this YouTube. He could be watching this YouTube. Yeah. Loving this beat, loving these lips, loving this hair. Just love it, just loving your queen. So watch out for your expectations and know what you will and won't accept, because you are worth it. You are worthy and you deserve the love that you want and need in your life. Okay, so the title of this poem is called Magic. Magic is the practice of sleight of hand meant to deceive, but I see the aces you hide up your sleeve. Maybe if I were a bit more gullible, you'd be the very man bringing me heartache and trouble. But I'm hip to the slick, not falling for that same old love trick. I'm a queen, in case you're befuddled. God already promised me an ocean. So don't come bringing me no puddle. Uh-uh. No. Not today, Satan. No puddle, Satan. Not one puddle, Satan. Get back. Just saying. Make sure that the love in your life brings love to your life. If they take love away, they're not for you. It's not for you. It's not for you. Mommy! Mommy! Mommy's on the line. Mommy, me love you. Mommy, when can I come over for some oxtail? Me need some oxtail. Mommy, I love you. Mommy! Mommy! So, again, when you go out and endeavor in love, make sure it's the love for you. Again, that's one of the things that my mommy taught me when we were over at her house. And she said, Liz, dump him. And you know, the person I was dating was her cousin. That's how I knew she loved me. Dump him. Dump him, Liz. You don't need him. Dump him. I won't say his name, but she knows what I'm talking about. She said, and talking about her own cousin. So I know she loves me. I know she loves me. I know she loves me. So the next section of the poem is called Self-Reflection. This section is my most prized section because um, this section uh, has poems that were written 20, 30 years ago. I think one was even written 40 years ago, and all of them had negative words in them. Every single one of them had negative words in it. And if you knew me back in the day, you knew I didn't have a good self-image of myself, and how I felt about myself was very negative. So what I want you to know is that through doing this book, I looked at those poems, I rewrote those poems, and this is what you get. This is what you get. So the first poem I'm going to read from this section whew, is called Self-Reflection, a poem about me. This poem, the original title was Ugly. That was the name of the poem. So I'm not going to go into what the poem said. We don't have to talk about it. It doesn't exist anymore. It wasn't copyrighted. Don't worry about it. But all the words were rewritten. So here we go. Self-Reflection, a poem about me. There's not much I can say about the woman I am and want to be, but in a poem, I am the hope of the Negro and dream of the slave. Cradled by struggle and nourished by Black power, it was written that I am America's forgotten offspring, America's adopted and mistreated child. Moreover, I'm the overcomer of obstacles. My strength protects me from hurt and pain. Lyrically, I recount my memories, things I thought about only yesterday. As I journey into tomorrow, my poems will be like mirrors to the great who I am and what I want to be. My poems are sweet love songs. That's it. Short, sweet. I'm so glad I rewrote this poem. It reflects how I feel about myself now and where I'm going later on. Uh, so this poem that I'm about to read, it is also in the book, of course, because I'm reading it. This poem was actually written 42 years ago. I remember the day. Actually, Loretta helped me write it. Loretta, how do you spell? Loretta, how do you spell? Loretta, how do you spell? And she looks at me, gives me the words. After the last word, she goes, "Learn how to spell." Mm. And on that note, just so we're clear, I did learn how to spell. Learn how to spell really well. So well, I got 3 masters. All right. So here we go. Title of this poem is called I Am. I am. I'm as subtle as a breeze and as obvious as a hurricane. I can be sweet. I can be sour, but I am. I'm as gentle as a mouse. I'm as rough as a ram. I can be smooth. I can be bristling, but I am. I'm as simple as a new day and as complicated as the dead of night. I can be easy. I can be difficult, but I am. I'm a walking contradiction. I'm a walking contradiction and standing in absoluteness. I can go against the grain or with the flow, but most importantly, I am. That's it. I am. Somebody. Okay, I'm not gonna do this entire poem, but I gotta let this rock. I gotta let this rock. I'm feeling this poem. It's keep looking me in my face, so I'm gonna do the first stanza of it. It's called "I'm Not a Deaf Poet." I'm only doing the first stanza because I have more I want to do, and I've already had you guys on for about an hour. Okay, the title of this poem is called "I'm Not a Deaf Poet." I'm only doing the first stanza. If you want to read more, buy the book. Links in the description. I don't concoct lines upon lines of lyrics that sounds like rap songs. I don't talk fast to fit, nuance ideas into 3 minutes of the same old. Shh. I don't want to get demonetized before I get monetized, so we're gonna let that word rock. I'm not a deaf poet. So if you want to read more or what the was about, please buy the book. Links in the description. Okay, so we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going to the next section entitled Odes. Yes, odes. Let me just read a little bit about what odes are. An ode is an elaborate. Okay, devil. Get off my tongue. Leave me alone. I'm going to read these poems. But that libation could be the problem. Celebration! Celebration! Let's keep it going. And I did that also not to cry, because this is the poem I was getting to when I said I wanted to dedicate this poem to Michelle's mom, Clay's mom. I wanted to dedicate this to Ziamata's mom. I want to dedicate this to Mummy, my mummy who's listening to me. Thank you so much. But more importantly, I want to dedicate this poem to Ruby Kitchen, who's my godmother. I want to give this poem to my grandmother who raised me, who helped raise me. And I most importantly, and I hope she's watching, want to dedicate this poem to my mother, the person who taught me about resilience, the person who taught me about taking a chance, and the person that taught me it doesn't matter how you fall unless you get up. This woman is an amazing mom. She has my heart on a string, and I love her with every inch of who I am. So I want to dedicate this poem to the village of mothers who helped raise me and help make me the person who could sit on the YouTubes in a fresh beat, write poems, and start her own YouTube channel. So again, this is not very long, but it does pack a punch. So if I start crying, please forgive me, YouTube. Please forgive me, Google. Oh, shout out to Google. Shout out to Google. Hey, Google, thank you for the platform. Thank you for all of the how to get this stuff started. And thank you for the university that I will be attending and finishing, because I'm going to master this. Okay. So again, Mama's Ode. I give you the biggest part of my heart because you are deserving. I shout your praises from the top of my lungs because of the life you've given me. A million words are not enough to let you know because my appreciation runs so deeply. So I sing to you my song of gratitude because you are so worthy. I keep all you've bestowed onto me in a keepsake box because all of your gifts are of high value and quality. I love you today as I did yesterday and will tomorrow because you are and always will be the biggest part of my heart. So mommy, my mom who's watching on the television, I love you so much. I love you so much. Satan, stop. No. No tears. No tears. No tears. No tears. No tears. No tears. Okay. And again, that also goes out to my cousin Jerry, who was the only family member to ever call me beautiful. Here we go. Here we go. No, Satan, no. So I want to make sure that my cousin Jerry knows that is also for her as well. Love you. This poem is an ode to the ghetto. Anybody who grew up with me in the ghetto know what I'm talking about. Know why I'm dancing. Know why I'm dancing, because we didn't know we were broke when we were in the ghetto. Our parents told us no, and we accepted it. There was no back talk. There was no, but you got to get, no. There was no call the cops, because the cops came to the door and said, well, I don't want to get it. You got hit, and that was it. That was it. Sorry, don't demonetize me. Don't demonetize me. Please don't. But growing up in the ghetto was the most magical time of my life because of the friends I had. I want to give a shout out to the Monroe family, to the Macmillan Andrew family, to the Wilson family. I want to give a special shout out to Miss Isabel Wilson, who gave me my first job, and Mr. Wilson, who gave me my first job slinging ices. Everybody in the block told them, no, that girl's no good. She's gonna steal from you. No, she's not, and she's gonna do good. And that was my actual first employer. The first job I ever had was given to me by Miss Isabel Wilson. So I want to give her a big shout out. If anybody knows her on Facebook, send her a shout out. Tell her Queen Liz gave her a big shout out, and I love her deeply. But I just wanted to let you know that this poem is about living in the ghetto. You can be from the ghetto as long as you're not of the ghetto. And that's something we need to teach these kids today. We were in the ghetto, we weren't of the ghetto. So the title of this poem is The Sun Does Shine in the Ghetto. The warm braid, let's start that again, because the devil trying to take my tongue. He trying to take my tongue, but we ain't gonna no. So take two. The sun does shine in the ghetto. The warm rays upon my brow, the heat from that big ball of fire. It creeps out from behind the projects and dances with us at the fire hydrant. The sun does shine in the ghetto. It lets us know when it's time to play. It lets us know when Big Mama says, come on home now. Our great big Timex in the sky. The sun does shine in the ghetto. In the winter, it keeps us warm when it's way too cold. In the spring and summer, it heats us up just a little too much. And in the fall, it's always just right. The sun does shine in the ghetto. Up in Harlem, over in Bed-Stuy, and in LA and Chocolate City, it's easy to see. The sun is always up just in time to play. The sun does shine in the ghetto. When the sun comes up, the splendor of ghetto jazz emerges. But when the sun goes down, it dissipates, making way for millions of tiny diamonds in the sky that illuminates the underworld of the ghetto. That is when I wait, sleeping, with bated breath for the sun's triumphant return. The sun does shine in the ghetto, more potent than any narcotic, more eloquent than silky words spoken by my boyfriend's lips. And if you believe in the sun's power, it will shine brighter than all of the lights on Times Square. The sun does shine in the ghetto. So let them know if they're not aware. Or maybe they simply don't care that your place in the sun is not determined by where you live. And if they still don't know, tell them the sun does shine in the ghetto. That's that. So those odes are about places. An ode can be about a place. So I that's why I wanted that poem in that section. So it's about where I grew up, and I do have an affinity for where I grew up because gentrification is running rampant. So please call your local, state, and federal politicians. Let them know gentrification is wrong. We had communities when we grew up, communities that took care of children, showed them the right way to go. Lastly, in this section, I want to read this poem for Robert Frost. This poem is about me, 100%. This poem was written after I got an education about poetry. I went to a Robert Frost, I want to call it a symposium, but it was a lecture. It was a lecture on the poems of Robert Frost, and they read the poem they read was The Road Less Traveled, and it moved me in a way that I didn't think a poet like Robert Frost could move me. That's why it's important for you to not just read, if you're Black, not just Black poets, if you're Latino or Latina, you can't just read Latino and Latina poems. You have to go out of your comfort zone because this poem gut punched me. And I came home and read this poem. Okay, Ode to Robert Frost. When I was young, I walked the road traveled by most. This road was paved with failure and bad intentions. Because this road was shadowed by doubt, leaving heartache in its wake, I was the follower of those who had forsaking good judgment, headed toward self destruction, leaving me lost in the dust. But still, I continued, walking the road traveled by most, and it was making me ill. I began to tire of this path. Then, off in the distance, what did I see? Unpaved, unworn fields of green, desiring the wear of travelers' feet, lit by the sun, not shadowed and clean. This was the road Frost spoke of, the road less traveled. It was bumpy, but the hills were filled with fresh flowers. It was long. Still, the trail was lush and green undertow. I wish to be on this road now that I'm older. I will take the road less traveled. I will walk with God and give him my troubles. I will forsake those that journey down the easy path and end up nowhere, stranded out there. That's the old to Robert Frost. So whenever you get an opportunity, read a poet that's not necessarily in your comfort zone. You'll be glad you did. Struggle and activism. Okay. So anyone who knows me, if you've known me for a year, if you know me for um all my years, you know that being a voice for the voiceless and standing up for myself is something I've always done, um, to my benefit and sometimes to my detriment. But nevertheless, I struggle on being someone who's an activist for herself, who's an activist for her people, who's an activist for women of all colors. If you don't have a voice, I stand up for you. And this section is really so you already know. You already know. You already know. A lot of the poems in here are longer, so I'm gonna go to a poem called "Misled," and I may read a couple lines from "Waiting on Batman." "Waiting on Batman" is for my teachers. I'm a New York City school teacher now for 23 years, and that poem goes out to teachers who bust their hump every day making sure children are educated. Oh, I've started activating now. So activism now. And I want to send that out to them because particularly in districts like mine, District 5, with a certain particular type of student, we're told we're not good enough. We're told we're not teaching hard enough. We're told that we are the problem and we're not. So let's get into Misled. Then we're going to get into a couple lines from Waiting on Batman. You'll know what it's about. I'm not going to do the whole poem, but if you want to read the whole poem, links in the description. Okay, Misled. What did you expect from me? To just roll over and die? Or blindly follow you? Did you think I believed you when you told me there was something I lacked because I was Native American, Latina, Asian, or Black? Did you think me stupid enough to just render myself secondary to the likes of you? Did you believe that God, the God above, would leave me hopeless and powerless, totally under your control? Hmm. Well, let me say this. You have been misled because I am fire in all of its heat. I am the very minerals of this earth. I am love. I am love. I am love. So you thought my people to be herded like cattle under your possession, just a piece of chattel. Well, by God's grace and with the strength of our flesh, we have overcome, been freed, and dismantled all obstacles in our way. Excuse me. From now and so on, anyone who has the nerve to try and deny me and my kind our place in the sun, you will be reminded of every one of our constitutional rights. And or if, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, let me go back. From now and so on, anyone who has the nerve to try and deny me and my kind our place under the sun, you will be reminded of every one of our constitutional rights. Good God Almighty, devil! Constitutional rights. So, if you haven't followed anything I've said, I will let you know again. You have been truly misled. Bam. Don't try me. I'm not here for the okey doke. Neither are my people. Neither are my Latino brothers and sisters. Neither are the Native Americans. Neither are the Asians. Not my Jewish people. And we girls ain't here for the okey doke. Because if you think we were, we're misled. Quick. Quick. Misled. Be clear. So this one goes out to every teacher that is on this live now. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's very long, so I'm not going to go into it. But I'm definitely going to okay. Waiting on Batman. I heard public schools are failing. That teachers ain't been teaching. Kids ain't been learning. And then I heard they waiting on Superman. Well, good for them. But I think I'll wait for Batman because I'm from Gotham and not some Smallville. And Superman, that is from Krypton. And I don't know about y'all. If I'm going to call a superhero to come and save me, I don't want one that falls from the sky because I don't want to be like the rest of them with the heads in the cloud, heads all in the clouds, and all the while ignorance is right here on the ground, and apathy is an epidemic, and despair is running rampant. Now, how are children supposed to learn, and teachers are supposed to teach? Yet some maniacal, misinformed individual have the gall and audacity to feel they have the right to say that teachers aren't working hard enough. Well, that's it. Period. If you want to read the rest, link is in the description. So we come to the final chapter, which is my epilogue. This is my final word, my final say, my final. These are actually poems that didn't quite fit. They either didn't quite fit in the other sections or they fit in multiple sections. So I didn't want to leave them out because I really felt strongly about these poems. So I'm going to begin with Who's That Girl? Who I can't sing it like that because copyright, trying to get monetized. Okay. Who's that girl? I am she who is sheer fabulosity. I turn negativity into flowers with seeds of love, and with water from the great river Gambia, I nurture my garden. I am she who is not so tall, but can burn her hand on the sun. And because he was busy saving souls, God asked me to pass him the Big Dipper so he could ladle stars into a new galaxy, creating new life. I'm 1,000 degrees of perfection. And if by some slim chance I'm wrong, it's just happenstance, an error of circumstance. Her name is Elizabeth, a name which means greatness, the ruler of the world, but benevolent and kind. I can take a pan of sweet cornbread and feed the world's hungry, gather water from Lake Victoria and quench the thirst of 8 billion. I'm a generous queen. I throw the shade of the mighty willow. I have no time for the, excuse me, I throw, I throw shade of the mighty willow over the devil and his demons because I endeavor in the light. They offered me a king's ransom for my soul and I just laughed. And then I tell them my soul is not for bargain purchase or sale, because through God, I am and will always remain free. I can take flight at will, soaring through the sky like an elegant eagle to survey all in my domain. Picking up wing gusts in my wings, I glide through the heavens. No need to ponder, deliberate, question, consider, or even speculate. Who in the world? Because I already told you. Who's that girl? All right, all right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right, all right. We've come to the final poem. This poem is about the continent of Africa. Um, this poem actually was written because I can't remember if I heard, was it Byron Donaldson or the other guy from North Carolina? Tell me, I don't know nothing about Africa. I don't know nothing about Africa. I'm so sick of these ultra American blacks who believe that we have no connection to the continent of Africa just because I can't point out where my people come from Africa. That's not my shame. That's America's shame. That's America's shame. That's not my shame. So, yes, I claim the whole continent until I know exactly which countries I come from. I'm claiming it all. I'm claiming, yep, yep, I'm claiming it all. We are claiming it all. Because that's a way to divide people. That's a way to divide people. We don't stand for that. We don't stand for that. If you're Jamaican, you're my people. If you're Ghanaian, you're my people. If you're Nigerian, you're my people. If you are from Sierra Leone, you are my people. If you are from Canada, you are my people. If you are from England, you are my people. You are my people. You're my people. And I want you to know that I really take this seriously because learning African history is how I taught myself how to read. And being a person of African descent, I don't have to know the country because it's the people. And that's who I'm a part of. And that's the stock I come from. My history did not begin with slavery. I was not chattel before. I was the only reason why we were slaves because we didn't have guns. I'll let you know that. Let that simmer. Because Africa was taken with guns. And that's why gun control is important. I had too much wine. But that's okay. It's a party. Have another sip. Sorry, mommy. But the title of this poem is called Mother Calls Me Home. Mother calls me home. The sound of the drum still calls me home, yet I don't know why. The rhythms and vibes invite me for reasons I cannot comprehend. It is a mother's spiritual call, and I hear her calling me, so I don't know why I don't understand her. My mother screams for me to return home from the valley of darkness, calling me home to the light. Have I been gone that long? My mother entices me with jollof rice and malva pudding and sweet nectars of the land. Why are these nourishments foreign to me? Child, you don't know what you're missing. But what have I missed? I yearn to know these flavors and nourishments. What is this spirit of dance that moves me so? These steps are new to me. The ancient ways want me to heal my broken soul, yet these medicines are strange to me. Have I been gone that long? Mother told me, Mother, they told me I could never go home again. I can still the I can still feel the warmth on my brow, but for all the concrete towers, I cannot see your sun. And that's it. That's all. Thank Thank you, everyone, for coming. My family, I want to give you a big shout out again. My cousins from down south, Virginia and Georgia. I want to thank my best friend for being in the house tonight. I see D. Bazemore in the house tonight. I see MC, my co-teacher, in the house tonight. I want to just let you guys know that there's so much more I want to do with this channel, but I only have a mere almost 60 subscribers, and I would love, 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 love to have more. I would like to monetize this channel and get to 500 subscribers. And for that, I'm going to need help from you. Please go to Nia Amani, like, subscribe, leave her a comment, tell her the Queen Center sent you, and let her know she can send some of her subscribers to me. Go to Christopher Titus TV. Let him know the Queen sent me. She told me she loves your channel. She told me I love your channel. Please send her some subscribers her way. And let us meet again here next month when I go live again. And until then, I'm wishing you love, peace, and prosperity. Everybody, let's go out with the outro, the outro, the outro, the outro. Don't worry, I'm going to get it together. We're going to get this party going. Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody. Bye, bye.